mean again? Okay, you have to use your special triangles. What that means is I don't want to see something like 0.707, okay? I want to see something like 14 over root 2 or something like that is what I want to see for my answers, okay? So that's what has to be the case. I'm going to pick on, actually I'm going to do the formula I'm going to right now. Okay. Can I get somebody to be brave, please? And only get to raise your hand once. Can somebody tell me how to get the 30, 60, 90 triangle? What do you do? Yeah, go ahead. Equilateral triangle. So I'm going to do this very quickly up here, underneath here, because we're going to need it. Drop it in 2. There's 2, 2, 2. That turns into a 30, a 60, a 3, a 1, and a 2. So again, that's just what I will write on the top of my page when I do any single question here. How do I get the 45, 45, 90 triangle? Somebody else, please. Go ahead. Square and chop it and chop it. Go ahead. So here's my square. That's chopped in half. So that turns into root 2, 1, 1, and 45. Okay, now I just have those up there for reference. Okay, right? On this question, you would probably need something like this. All right, so let's start with the actual question that we're actually trying to solve here. When you see a triangle like that, what do we have to solve instantly? Luke, go.
The middle line.
The middle side. So what I'm going to maybe do, you don't have to do this, but I want to. I'm going to write this just as, oh goodness. So there's 30 degrees, there's 14, and there's y, let's call it. Okay. All right, so let's pretend you know nothing about special triangles. Can someone new please tell me how to solve for y? Pretend you don't know what special triangle. Pretend this is back in grade 10. How to solve for y? So raise your hand. Robin, go. Okay. So sine of 30 equals y over 30. Wonderful. Okay, great. How do you solve for y? Somebody else. What's the next step? You already answered something new. Play along, please. How do you solve for y? Summer, go. Good. Okay, question, go ahead. Well, because we just look at color, right? So opposite over hypotenuse.
Oh, right.
I said sine.
Yeah. No. I'm going to advise you strong against using sine law. Okay, because we want exact values for things, okay? We want exact values, so I advise strongly against it here. Okay? Yeah, if you can do similar triangle, as long as you get the right answer for that, yeah. Because that's where I used to teach it, but people had great difficulty with it, okay? So, but if you can handle it, do it then, okay? Okay, so sine 30 is what? Can somebody tell me please what sine 30 is? Go and go. Okay? Yeah. So this is 14 times 1/2 equals pi, so 7 equals 1. Well, not really though, because you don't know the bottom already.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, so that's, are we okay on how where that came from? Now, I advise you against using a calculator though, because we need an exact value. This worked out beautifully with 7, so it's not a big deal, right? But I want you to be able to do it like this.
Can you go over and go to half?
Yeah, no problem. So, good question here. So, using this little mini triangle at the top here, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right? So, sine 30 is just 1 over 2.
Okay.
Right, so like opposite over hypotenuse. All right, on the right-hand side, I'm going to do this up in blue here now. So, what I did was, I should have done green. All right, let's do this in green. So, I have, oh, what happened there?
Control Z.
No, I think I just did this.
Oh,
Oh, no, it's on the other page.
What is happening here?
My phone's dying.
It's not dying, it's haunted.
All right, so what I'm going to do is there's 45 degrees, there is 7, and there's x. Okay, somebody new, please tell me back if this was grade 10, how I would solve for x. Go ahead. Okay. Okay, so this is the part it's time to pay attention to, because this is where people get mixed up here. How do you solve for x, please? Somebody new. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. So x equals 7 divided by sine 45. Now, someone in this class, sorry, I don't know if I can, let's call him Owen. He's going to tell me the answer is like 10.39492, and you'll get the answer x and 0. Okay, well, try to get half for getting that far, okay? But you'll lose it, okay? So what should I do instead? What's sine 45 equal to? Oh, goodness. Come on, please. Play along. Is that half a hand or no? What's sine 45?
2 over 1 over root 2.
Yeah, 1 over root 2. So sine 45 is 1 divided by root 2. So I'm going to say x equals 7 divided by 1 over root 2. Can somebody please tell me why it probably makes sense to do that as a division statement? Like that. I can flip, right? So x is going to be 7 times root 2 over 1. Which is just 7 root 2. Now, there are different ways to do it. Again, Noah likes similar triangles. Okay, so he can do it, and you probably got the same answer, hopefully. Is what I got there, and that's fine. So we're good. Now, there's one of these on the assignment. If when you were doing your assignment last night or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, you got an answer like 9.36 for your triangle, you got to redo that question, okay? Because exact value means, you know, the square roots I want to see in there. All right, did that help at all for people, I hope? Because as I said, when I was helping people with their assignment, this is probably the biggest question people have no clue of what to do. Sorry, I hate to be too honest, but it's true, yes.
Working on your assignments?
Oh, goodness, no. You had 2 weeks to work on your assignment.
Yeah, I know,
Leo.
but some things I didn't understand.
No. Okay, I wanted to do now, I got asked a navigation question. Okay, so I'm going to make a question here. Example 1.
Oh, but you mean we're going to work on that. It's okay.
Okay, so who wants to volunteer? Actually, Emily, I'm going to pick on you. What do you have first period? Physics. Great. Okay. I'm going to say Emily.
Math.
It is math. You don't.
Yes, they get pretty close.
Chemistry.
Yeah, because it's not 10.
Okay, so here we go. It says here, Emily starts in physics class. She travels 18 meters east, 12 degrees north to her locker, and then 21 meters west, 15 degrees north to math class. How far is it from physics to math? Does that make sense to the wording? My grammar is, my spelling is 100%. Maybe one day Julia's sister can teach me proper English, and all will be good. I'm sorry for that. Yes.
It's down the hall.
We want the distance, though.
Down the hall.
If you're in physics, this is tremendously important. Things like direction and distances, right?
Yeah.
Down the hall is not a suitable answer in physics class. Okay, so I'm going to pause right now. I'd be an awful, like,
Politician.
president. No
Decline
comment.
comment.
No comment. No comment. No comment. No comment. All right, here we go. Emily starts in physics class. Travels 18 meters east, 12 degrees north. How do I draw that? Yeah. So I'm going to put a little point right here. We're trying to call physics, which is going to be P. I'm going to go east like this, and I'm going to go 12 degrees north to her locker. And I'm also going to go 18 meters. Okay? Did everyone get something close to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what I did from her locker is where the next measurement's coming from. I'm starting west, and I'm going 15 degrees north up to math class. And that is 21 meters. And x is our actual distance that we're looking for here, okay? Now here's the thing. Please do not put that north-south. You don't know for sure that it's north-south. It could be. Like, since we're in a mathematical school, you assume that they'd align us and things like that, but you can't make that assumption, though, okay? So you can't say it's definitely north-south. What is the next step I need to solve this question? Go ahead.
Can you use this at adding to
Very good. Very good. So what you're going to do is use the Z power to get this as 12. And I'm just going to rewrite. You don't have to rewrite, but I just kind of makes it too. So that's 27. There's 21, 18, and x. There's physics and math. Is everyone feeling sort of good about that part right there? Julia, sort of good for what happened there? Sort of? Sort of. Okay. All right, Tristan, can you recite from memory cosine law, please? Yeah.
A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 cos
So let's start with some numbers, and it's going to be x squared equals 21 squared plus 18 squared minus 2, 18, 21 cos 27. No. You would get this, you'll get a mark for this and that, the final answer, that's it. What's my final answer for x then? 9.5. 9.6 then?
9, well, yeah.
So therefore,
with the numbers.
that's pretty close actually. Okay, so I want you guys to feel good about this question, because basically the more difficult one will be math class is 100 meters in the air and physics class is 10 meters underground. Okay, because it's not as important. Okay, what's the distance then? Okay, that'll be the
It's arguably.
all right.
When you were here the one day and we did a 3D work problem,
Yes.
you really threw the whole entire class off by adding a different
Relative
height.
heights.
Yeah. Like though
Well,
everybody freaked out. I freaked out, didn't know what was going on.
Well, but you understand the logic behind it though, right?
There
Again,
was some
heights and
screaming.
heights and heights.
Yeah, but it was
So it's
like
the gap between them, right?
you could like I assumed that, but it was still
You can also
Is
assume
that
they
true?
were looking at the heat.
yeah, we didn't know whether they were
I
looking
will
ahead of-
make sure that everyone's looking at each other's eyes in these questions, okay? I will say that Kylie's eyes are 1.87 m, that she told me how tall she was, okay? Her eyes are 1.87 m above the ground, and you weren't here yesterday, but Chris said she was actually, no, Alana said she was taller, and Chris said she was shorter, by like 2 centimeters or something, right? So 1 centimeter or whatever, so. All right, let's go to identities here. So if anyone has been working through questions independently and you want me to do an identity, I can do it. If you want to just pick a messy one off the sheet, you guys can try it and then we'll do it. It's, yeah, I get that a lot.
Well, like, I don't know, I get to a certain point, but then I don't know what to do, and you're like, oh, you just need to
I know,
multiply
and
this,
that's-
but then I don't know when to, like.
Yeah, and that's sort of the difficulty with these questions. Not that there's a magic step, but there's like the
Like, you have
aha
to
one that
know.
you need to sort of do, right? So, what I tried to do for this was to give you guys lots of examples so you could sort of see the game, right? So, okay, does somebody want to volunteer a question to do from here? Someone pick one that looks messy. Go ahead.
Can you do a factor and readd?
Yeah. All right, 3F, let's start with, okay? Ooh, there's a good one. All right, let's not talk about that right now. 3F says, we'll be doing this a lot in this upcoming unit. This is the rest of the things we're doing this week, and stuff like this, so this is really good. So this question says sine squared theta minus 2 sine theta plus 1. This is one you may see on your test like this, and dividing this by something and having it to cancel out, okay? Does anyone remember how we factor, can I do this please?
Take sine and integer.
Yes, but not exactly. What is that?
That's quadratic.
It is a quadratic, in fact.
But
So what I'm
it's
gonna
a
do,
standard quadratic.
no, it's not though. I'll make it less area, right? Okay, so it's gonna be x squared minus 2x plus 1. So it's gonna multiply to 1 and add to -2. -1, which is,
Is that a trick that you'd recommend?
yes.
Is that legal? Is that like?
Here's a legal trick. I do not show you how to break the law ever. I don't recommend that you do.
In subbing an x, is it only like would you only do that on a quadratic or could
You can do it anytime you want. Generally, a quadratic
Is the
is probably
best
the
way.
best way because when you're factoring, right? Like, because there was one of the questions on the assignment that was, I'm gonna do it one like this. How do we factor this one? Because people are getting, there's only 3 types of factoring on here. The second factoring type is this. How do you factor this? Cos theta minus cos squared theta. Right, not quite difference of squares because cos can't be square rooted. Well, it can be, but I don't want to go there. Excellent, very good. Okay, so something like this you should have seen on your assignment. Okay, something like that you would definitely see on your assignment. Okay, that's the second type of factoring. Third type of factoring is this one. Okay, 1 minus tan squared theta. How do you factor that bad boy?
Would you put 10 over 10?
Same rephrase. It's possible, but there's probably a more efficient way to do it. Yes. Okay. Now the question I got asked a good question here. Okay. Olivia goes. She's if you don't mind me sharing what she just said to me. She said the way she does these questions, she gets to a certain point and she says she doesn't know what to do. Okay. Now sometimes you would factor this, sometimes you wouldn't. What you're thinking is when you want to factor something is when you have something in the denominator you want to cancel out. Right? When you have things that you want to cancel, you have to factor before you cancel. And we'll hopefully do a question like that today so you can see. So let's say you had something like this, all over sine theta minus 1. You think, well, you have to get things to cancel, right? That's the only way you can only cancel things after you factor. Yes?
So how do people make identities? Do they just slap together a bunch of things?
They do what they'll do is they'll do the opposite operation. That's what they'll do. Okay, so what they'll do is like I will start, if I make the identities I make for your test, I'll start off with something like this. And I'll say, oh, okay, how would I do this? Oh, cool, all right, great. So let's do then, whatever. Plus 1 minus, I'll do all the operations like that until it works out then. Okay.
Maybe just switch one side, sorry.
Exactly.
What is the purpose of identity?
To simplify, so to help you simplify things. Okay, that's what it's helped to do. Okay. When you get, it'll also help us on the unit circle.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's what it's going to do, right? Because then you can move things around. Okay, that's what we're getting into for this. All right, but in grade 11, it's just a torture. That's the main thing in grade 11, because this is like I wasn't kidding. This is difficult. Like this is really challenging.
Is it possible to sense?
No, there'll be lots of graphing on the next one. Okay.
Like,
All right.
everything else I got.
Okay. Does anyone have a question they want to do here?
7A.
There's no one says they're all in the test.
Yes, there is. There'll be the ones that I give you something like.
But there's not going to be any of that like amplitude
No,
creative
no,
action
no.
point stuff.
There'll be one like this, right? Where you do. Okay, so that's going to be Y.
I think we should do all as
Like one like that, right? So one of those.
Oh, yeah.
So which one, Luke, did you want to do?
6 and 7.
We'll take your favorite question.
7A.
Did we do this on the board yesterday?
7A now.
It's not very close to it. Oh, let's do B after. Oh, that's a great question. Let's do 7B after. Yeah, I'm gonna say theta, so we're gonna do 7B next, because I love that question. Okay, now this one looks frightening. We can start with either side. Normally we start with the left and we start with the more complicated side, okay? Didn't we do this one yesterday? So this looks familiar. It's the exact question, and they still don't know.
We didn't do it in class.
Yes, we did, yesterday. I thought it was yesterday.
I wasn't here. Could we please do it?
Oh, it isn't? One minus, sorry, one minus cos. We did, I thought we did, okay. So just as a reminder, let's say we started with this and move to the left. Start with the left, move to the right. Okay, when I look at the left-hand side and I talk the strategy I'm going to use here, I look for matching, that's what I look for, okay? So what is on the left that is not on the right? There's two things. Sine is the one thing, what else? The denominator. Those are two things we have to get rid of. How can I get rid of sine squared theta? Go ahead. Okay, so the first thing I do is I'm going to call this 1 minus cos squared theta. Okay, and that should instantly be your first step. Okay. Now, I have to find a way to get rid of the denominator, which means I'm probably going to want to cancel it out. If you have to cancel something out, what has to happen before you cancel something out? You have to factor. You have to factor to go to canceling out top and bottom, okay? So how am I going to factor the numerator then?
Wait.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Can you not, it's 1 minus cos squared of theta and then the bottom divided by 1. Can we not just cancel so we come to minus cos theta?
Do you have to do like the difference of squares?
What's the numerator turn into?
1 minus cos theta 1 plus.
Awesome, good. So you have to factor before you cancel. That's the
And then,
And then the 1 minus cos theta.
right on.
dang it! This is frustrating.
Don't let it frustrate you. Don't let it frustrate you.
I don't understand everything I say up to a certain point and then it makes sense.
Somebody go or was there goes? Let physics explain what just happened. We can't do it.
Someone must have walked past.
Physics cannot explain what just happened.
Yes, they can.
All right. Let's keep going. I want to make correct the of this. Yes. 9D, no problem. Okay, if this is on your assignment, I'll be a little upset, but not too upset, okay? 9D.
But you wanted to do 7D.
This is on the assignment. No, we're not doing 9D. I want to do 7B though. If I don't do 7B now, I'll put it on the test.
Can you just make that at least a small portion of the test?
Yes, it is 1 page at a time. 20%. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a chance to do this. I'm going to hit pause on the video. I'm going to tell you how to do it first. You want to look at the left and look at the right, and you're going to think of what you want to get rid of. What's on the left-hand side that is not on the right? So there are two things. Tan is one thing. What else? Denominator. So first thing you're going to want to do is get rid of tan. Then after that, you're going to want to find a way to get rid of the denominator. Right? Try it right now. Go. All right? And if on your test, you know, you get this question, that, oh man, this looks awful. You will get a mark just for saying tan is sine over cos. Or you get 1 mark just for doing sine squared over cos squared all over that. Okay, you will get a mark for that, okay? So this is probably on your assignment too, this question. I just can't remember. Oh, 23. No.